We are going to be talking more, of course, about this new extremism definition, which Michael Gove is announcing in the Commons. I think in the next half hour or so, we are going to be talking to the former senior advisor to the counter-extremism project, that's Ian Edgerton, who's also a former prison governor as well, about what he thinks about this. But just to give people an idea, before we go into the conversation about this, and there's lots more I want to talk to you about, so let's not get bogged down in it too long. But a new definition, it comes into force today. Extremism is the promotion or advancement of an ideology based on violence, hatred or intolerance. So, so far so good. That aims to, 1, negate or destroy the fundamental rights and freedoms of others.
That's good.
Or, number 2, undermine, overturn or replace the UK's system of liberal parliamentary democracy and democratic rights. Or 3, this is the crucial new bit, intentionally create a permissive environment for others to achieve the results in 1 or 2. Now, lots of people are saying one of the issues here is that this new wording, is this too wide? Who gets to interpret this? Because there's too much interpretation in this. And could Just Stop Oil be involved in this? Could Stonewall be involved in this? Could gender-critical feminists like myself be involved? Who decides who is a terrorist? And does any of it matter when all this is about is government funding, not even local government funding or the NHS funding, but literally the central government funding or supporting or in any way working with these sort of organisations?
I think it does matter, but when the Terrorism Act first came in, the same debates came out as to who was going to be on that list and who wasn't. And it's whenever the list was produced, the criteria for getting put onto that list was defined within that. We haven't seen the list yet, and I don't know whether we're going to find out when exactly that list is going to be published. It does sound like Mr Gove was saying
this morning that he wasn't going to actually give a list. This was something they would have to look into.
Get the evidence. You'd have hoped they'd got the evidence. They're going to have to do something, but whatever method that they decide that someone or a group is going to be put onto fit this criteria, it's not Michael Gove in a dark room deciding himself and going all the rest of it. There will be a group of people. In terrorism, it's the Joint Terrorist Analysis Cell that sits there and advises the Home Secretary.
JTAC, we've heard so much about over the years.
It's JTAC.
But this is it. Again, people say, well, is it going to be, independent, neutral civil servants? Well, we know they're not neutral. We know they're massively politically ideological. And this is the concern that people have. Now, Muslim groups, some Muslim groups are saying, we think this is going to target Muslims. But of course, we've just seen, the latest, terror-related news showing, that more than 60% of people who've arrested on terror-related activities are Islamists. Now, again, that's not target Muslims. That's targeting Islamist extremism. We know that, when it comes to the number of terror attacks that have actually been carried out, a very small percentage are far right, too many, but actually the vast majority are from Islamist extremists. So, of course, they're more likely to have groups that are going to be not just prescribed as terrorist groups, but also under this new definition of extremism.
Until we see the criteria for how you're going to get onto this list and all the rest of it, any group can dig a rabbit hole quite happily and turn around and say, oh, we can be on here. And therefore, they're going to create so much sensationalism around it.
Muslim Council of Britain are saying they may take legal action if they're on their Cage International. These are both groups where they have had members and they've supported policies, which I think are highly questionable in terms of British values.
But again, that shows their checks and balances because they're going to take legal action. So if they take legal action and the Supreme Court, if it gets to their turn, turns around and says, no, you're not an extremist group under the definition, under the law, that will set case law. And
here's one of my queries on this, because we've got lots of bodies, and I've always found this extraordinary that things like bodies like Stonewall, I don't think would be under this. I don't agree with anything they do, but I don't think they come under this group. I'd like to argue with them in public. But Stonewall, who are, I think, virulently misogynistic in their policies now, promoting trans rights over and above women's rights and safety, that group gets loads of money from central government, from local government, from schools, from the NHS, from and huge number of quangos, and all these sort of Muslim groups and other groups. You think, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Why are you all getting government funding? Why are my taxpayers' money going for any of this? Why don't you just? I want my taxes to go towards policies, things. Why are these groups getting all this funding?
And what this list isn't going to do is it's not going to stop you debating with them. It's not going to stop anyone else debating with them. It's not going to stop them going out and publicly protesting. It is going to stop them getting government money that will help support them do that.
It's a good start. At the very least, let's not fund that.
Exactly. As a taxpayer, I think it's good.